to.
Welcome back to another video of me being absent for 4 months straight, then come back to ramble about stuff in the Wild West. Today we're finally going to swim deeper in the iceberg, aka reach its lowest point. Also, if you're new to this series, this is part 2, so go watch part 1 if you haven't. Anyways, get your popcorn, snacks, Coca-Cola, whatever, and enjoy the video. In the Wild West, sometimes you can find some people following a specific route or strategy to get a lot of cash. It can be mining or hunting, and Beer Paw Valley once was the most OP grinding strat. It's quite simple, to be honest. You go and kill the 4 bears there and do that all over again on repeat until your inventory is full. You cook the meat and sell your loot. Extremely simple, but there are now hunting strats which are way better. The cheating horse jump refers to the fact that you can use the reindeer horse and jump across the fort walls. Now, why is this cheating? Well, it's literally just a glitch and you're not supposed to use it. Back to the Future is a trilogy of movies, the third one being about Marty being in the Western and trying to find out how to go back to his timeline. So obviously Star Wars Studios wanted to do Easter eggs of that, like the grave of Emmett Brown, which was back then located next to the church, and the infamous DeLorean, which is in the entrance of the desert cave, which is still in the game. The developers for some reason love making us think this, but for some reason they released twice screenshots of sneak peeks of guns. They crossed them making us think we're going to be able to dual wield them, but they just straight up hit us with the
"Don't think about it. Don't even think about it."
I'll just stop being a bitch.
Silver Hill is an area that used to exist back then before Silvertown got added with the reservation camp. It was actually sort of important since back then you had to go there to complete daily exploration quests sometimes, and it was an actual quite good mining spot, having 5 silver ore deposits and a moai in the hill. The Wild West Wiki is a very good and trustworthy way to find sources for some things in the game, like change logs, remove concept, theories, photos, strats, and explanations, and etc. In Callahan Manor, you can actually find an unused hallway. It literally has nothing, so the only thing which is cool is the fact that it exists for some reason. Faction monkeys are pretty much bronze kids, aka toxic people.
You fucking stink.
Most of the times they are in like these huge factions. So for example, Blood School Revolution, the Blue Company, and a lot of other factions. When developers make games, they add sound effects.
Wow, no way, Cesar.
But Star Wars Studios did it a bit differently. They actually went out and used some of Valve's sound effects from Gary's mod, aka the engine for Half-Life and many other games. Surprisingly, not everyone knows this feature, but you can add a saddle and a blanket on your horse by going on the horses you own and click on the accessory button. Snake venom is an item which used to be dropped by snakes. You may have probably already seen how expensive they are right now since they're unobtainable in trading chats, but the prices of these items are going to drop soon since the snakes are coming back to the game, so I wouldn't really recommend you to buy some, but instead you should sell them to other traders. Quests back then used to be a quick and easy way to get cash daily, but then probably due to huge economic change and, well, you know, the auction updates, Star Wars Studios removed them, but are right now, as of writing this, revamping them to make them better and more worth it. The area fog that I'm right now mentioning is basically something Star Wars Studios used back then to hide the upcoming areas by adding a huge black fog. They stopped using it probably due to performance issues caused by it.
Welcome back to another video.
Small thing you can notice is when you reload some of your weapons. I'll take the example of the Schwarzkopf's prototype pistol. You can notice a small mag drop on the ground, which makes the game look more realistic. One area that is less talked about its revamp is the Outlaw's Perch one. If you look at old clips, you can already see that it wasn't the same as the one today, having more grass and different buildings. For the 5 people who didn't know this, the Wild West has the official Roblox voice chat integrated, and let's just say people aren't really that nice at times.
Hi.
Leave me the fuck alone.
MIDI files are a very cool system where you can copy a link address of a MIDI file, then paste it in the game to be able to play whatever music you want. If you ragdoll and move the camera, you can sometimes actually peek outside the map with it. I can already tell you, since I have free cam, there's literally nothing there. Here's a fun fact. Did you know you can still encounter the blood moon? Well, the answer is yes, you can. But it's so rare, so don't even try or bother getting it. Barely any people manage to get it, and it's just better you wait for the next Halloween update. Next to Callahan Manor, you may have noticed the Wendigo symbol on a huge rock, which also, when you get close to it, says the architect's domain. Only moderators can open it, and when they do, a small elevator comes up and brings you down to the small room, which has nothing. The horse flying glitch is an old glitch which allows you to fly with your horse up in the sky. When you killed it and you position yourself in the correct way, one leg on the ground and the other on the horse. This glitch was also used for the Hag's Bandana period.
I wonder what's gonna happen if I do this. Wait.
If you are the Wild West developer, you basically get god powers, since you get Force Hammer, Palpatine powers, a fucking machine rifle, and a lot more other stuff that no one thought a small Lego Western game could have. Duping in the Wild West was a horrible thing because of the duping scammers just simply trading them and the victims getting stuck with the duped item, while suddenly 2 weeks later they lose them since, well, the developers removed all the duped items. The Ayacuitas, or however you pronounce it, is well technically a developer weapon, but it's given to more people. It's a 6 ammo revolver which also has a frozen variant, which the same people have been gifted in the Frozen Days event in 2021. In the center of the map, you can find Callahan Manor, and it may be an empty manor for PvP sweats to duel in, but lore-wise, it is one of the darkest in the entire game. In 1811, this unmarked manor was bought by the wealthy Callahan family. Their ways of money making are unknown. However, they are most likely linked to the plantation they own right outside the estate. The manor's residents were Leonard Callahan, his wife Catherine Callahan, and their daughter, Dolores Callahan. 77 years later, when Leonard was on a hunting trip in the tribal forest, he came across a strange skull which looked like a deer's, but was too big to have belonged to any he's seen before. Curious and drawn to its aura, he took it home with him. After the discovery, he began researching the skull and became obsessed with it.
There's something curious about it. A looming aura, which quells my better judgment.
He grew more and more obsessive within less than a month of having it. He began trying to summon it in order to grant him supernatural power and wealth. I have no clue why he thought that would work. He begins experimenting many different methods, but none of them worked.
I performed the rituals. I studied the texts. Alas, to no avail. The subjects were soulless, barren vessels. It isn't enough.
In August of 1888, Leonard Callahan killed his wife Catherine Callahan in their secret basement. Shortly following this, he began his descent into insanity, making his mind vulnerable to the school's magic. After this, it is highly hinted at by the developers that he became the new host for the Wendigo and now roams the forests of the Wild West map whenever a new Halloween update comes around. After these events, Dolores Callahan now has ownership of the manor, plantation, and ranch, currently as of making this, selling the land. Very long faction name was something you would tend to see back in the day on the map, and some people including me were confused to who the hell was this very long faction name.
Every time I join a public server, 95% of the time, Spencer and Henry both are owned by the faction Very Long Faction name.
And for some reason, I did find the answer a long time ago to what it was, but I can't seem to find the original post about it. But it's basically a placeholder that developers seem to forgot to remove. Back when the Wild West was in its alpha testing, when you joined the game, you were greeted up on a screen asking you what team you want to join. The teams were Outlaw, Law, and Citizen. Back then, there was no choosing area spawn list like we have today, but instead, the Outlaw selection would spawn you in the Outlaw's Purge, Law would spawn you in the Sheriff's Office in Bronze City, and the Citizen would simply spawn you in Bronze City. Admin coal was a short scamming tactic that people were pretending that they had some sort of coal which was obtained by an admin. They even photoshopped it to make it look more legit. Now it's just a stupid joke. Doomsday Missiles is an admin command that allows missiles to explode around the map of the Wild West. This specific admin command is one of the crazy admin commands that developers seem to have. When the cookery came out, you would only have the knife on your belt, but like 5 days later, I'm pretty sure the developers have added a sheath for each of them, making the cookery look way more cooler. For those those who may have noticed that the same animal they just shot but were killed by them and come back to kill them again seem to have gained more health for some reason. Well, that's because in the Wild West, animals regenerate health like we do. The far shore is an area that isn't accessible currently, but with free cam, we can. This area actually contains part of the OG Atlas perch that I just talked about. It even says that in one of the buildings,
the buildings that you see here are the very first iteration of the Outlaws perch, taken from the Wild West's earliest place build.
We still don't know if this area is going to become available to the public though. The legendary deer has sort of become a meme in the Wild West community since it's the only animal that doesn't have a legendary variant. I honestly doubt that Star Wars Heroes will add one anytime soon since the normal deer doesn't harm the player in any kind of way.
Also, here's how the legendary deer could potentially look like. I already made a video on this, but if you wonder what the hell is a summer update,
it's basically an update that people hope in like summer of June to come out to rival the Wild West, but it's never going to happen since Star Wars Heroes literally has nothing to add about summer in the Wild West. When you look in the chat of the game, you typically see the VIP title, the wealthy title, but sometimes the veteran title. But did you know other titles exist? Like the YouTuber title and the Twitch title you get for doing the official content creator program, and a bunch of other ones which there's an extremely low chance you'll ever see by yourself. Back then, in the alpha testing of the Wild West, you have noticed that horses were able to climb small mountains so fucking easily. That's because horses were way more glitchier, and we can even see that in this clip by Sketch. Tyrish, the main owner of Star Wars Heroes, is already face revealed on Twitter. He just looks like a regular guy I'd see on the street, to be honest. So, apparently you can get fucking bankrupted in this game. This is due when you sell a hacked or duped auction item. Instead of getting the money you're supposed to, you will actually be subtracted that amount, making you able to go past $0 and hit the negatives.
Where the hell is my money?
Oh, nigga don't hate me because I'm...
Ah, invisible horse falls. Who doesn't love that glitch? Who doesn't fucking love that glitch? Well, I fucking don't. No one fucking loves that glitch because it's the worst one in the fucking game where for some reason you run with your fucking horse, you go to Fort Spencer, and out of nowhere, out of the blue, your fucking horse just gets stuck for 10 seconds, making you look like a dumbass to the other people.
Why am I fucking stuck?
Now, when I'm saying this, I'm being fucking honest. But when I randomly was using free cam in the game to record background footage, I found a fucking UFO under the Atlas perch. I have no clue why it's there, but I guess it's cool to think about it. Said piano is basically a term I gave to this piano since for some reason it doesn't play any music like the other pianos do. I don't know if this is a glitch or it's intended, but it's kinda sad if you think about it. Recently, as of writing this, a new sneak peek came out where we see a new shotgun, which is the 1870-71. Now, this looks like a regular sneak peek, right? But if you brighten up the image, you get this fucking creepy message.
Like on awaits you.
December 22 was a pretty disappointing month to the Wild West community since Tyrish has announced that there wasn't any Christmas update coming that year. There wasn't a huge raid like the November 23 free one, but the community was just sad. Joyful Pumpkin is a glitch item that came out with the 2021 Halloween update, where when you kill the legendary skeleton, you went and grabbed the pumpkin, which is supposed to be an avatar item by the way, but turned out to be an inventory item. This glitch lasted for around like 15 to 30 minutes after the update came out, but the item wasn't deleted when they fixed the glitch. So now this item is pretty much as rare as the fucking Spitfire. The reporting fedoras was an all-rewarding system if you reported to developers some extremely glitchy glitches, aka the ones that break the game. It was also mentioned that at one point when more players discovered them, they spammed the developers with the snowy trains glitch. For the ones which wonder how the developers test the game, there's a different version of the Wild West which is called
Dev the Wild West.
I would assume again that this is the game where if you were selected by the developers or the moderators, you'd be able to beta test the progression update. I don't really want to talk much about this situation for Goob, but all I'm going to say is that he unfortunately led the community to continue living his life in good terms after him getting cheated on by his wife. I seriously wish him the best. The West Coin is a meme in the Wild West created by Chick-fil-A, and its first ever photo was sent in the official Discord server in February 21st, 2023. Now, what is it even? Well, let's just say it's Bitcoin, but in the Wild West.
This is honestly just feels weird, but you can talk to Tyrage on character AI.
Anyways, there's also the Wild West RPG chats.
I'm still confused on who the fuck made Tyrage as an AI.
If you go and dig out some old sneak peeks, you can find some unreleased animals which will come out in the future of the Wild West, such as dogs, foxes, and capybaras. Now, what does the Wild West is gonna become Pet Sim X mean? Well, this isn't just a theory of mine, but when Star Wars Studios announced marketable plushies, I sort of had mixed opinions, since they did also announce a long time ago we're going to add promo codes for the game. So this makes me wonder if the marketable plushies are going to have rewards. Now, if you get like $20,000 for them, I wouldn't mind that. But if they give you like an extremely overpowered item, like Big Game does, like the huge pets and all that shit, well, you can already say that the Wild West is going to be fucked. When the 100 million visits update came out,
Bro, just call it the dumbass auction.
some people have gotten auction items which didn't have a serial number on them. Like that time, Sketch tried out the update and Tyrage gave him those items, and you can even see there's no hashtag or a number on the description of the items. Maynard Colburn is the Wild West original mayor of Bronze City. You can see him in a lot of official artwork made by Star Wars Studios, but this mayor has actually appeared in the 2023 Halloween update as one of the main zombies which can spawn. All we know is that he died in 1858. The cause of his death is unknown, but I would probably assume he died because of age. Orpheus was an extremely well-known manager in Star Wars Studios, which until October 7th, 2021, he announced that he will leave Star Wars Studios to continue on his own terms. This was his own decision, it had nothing to do with the community itself, nor the other staff members. When you shoot through plank type walls, you sometimes can notice a bullet go through them. Is that a glitch? No, it's called realism. But anyways, if you master this, you will become an extremely good PvPer, and that means you have learned the infamous wall bang technique. Scoopy Mafia was an old supergroup composed of Users Hang Glider, Rex Reviews, and me. It was supposed to be a podcast project until us three realized that it's not going to work out due to time zones and personal lives. Now, is this project ever going to be reconsidered? I highly doubt so. To your surprise, the Wild West isn't actually Tyraj's first game, but it's in his 10th. To see his first game which blew up, we need to go back in 2014. Tyrage and two other developers, Stroudy and Lego Man 654, have united to participate in Roblox's official Blocktober event. Now, I'm already going to say that Tyrage has made some other less known games in the past, making him more than a novice in developing, which explains the quality of his new game of his, Confined. This game was a huge success for Tyrage since it gathered more than 1 million visits, giving him the possibility of creating a new studio called Dragonfly Studios. The studio has made a game which wasn't really finished called Distill. Distill had pretty much the same vibes as Confined of horror. It didn't get that much hype as Confined since it got 294k visits, which is still extremely impressive for a demo game, but then Tyrage will go out and make an even more popular game. Snowball Fighting Simulator. This game released in the era of simulators, which correlates with the fact that it became more popular than Tyrage's other games. But the hype of simulators would slowly fall down, meaning Snowball Fighting Simulator would also die. And I may wonder, what's the next game Tyrage started working on? Well, to your surprise, it's the Wild West. Tyrage has gotten more than $15,000 in real life from SFS, which made him become an intern in Roblox and made him create with Tamara X and Anti-Boomzer, well, I'm sorry, the group which we all know today, Star Wars Studios. I'm fucking tired. During the Wild West paid access era, the moon was actually different since it had a different texture. So I was searching some stuff up for the video until I found this screenshot. Now before y'all wonder,
oh my god, is this real?
It's not, it's just someone who made it, but we can assume that this is probably how wagons are going to look like in the future. The Wild West has actually announced, well, not really, but they did mention a second emote pack that may come out in the future. You can see that in the emotes pack's Game Pass's description. On a beautiful Saturday evening, I was scrolling through some of the Wild West screenshots to see if I could find anything special, and let's just say I found an Among Us in the Wild West. I don't know if I'm the only one which had these glitches, but I sometimes encountered some mad glitches such as this, which at first I thought was a small leg, but no, it was just a weird floor glitch, and this weird grayish fog. There was a sign in the swamp back then which had Shrek and under it saying beware ogre. This wasn't real since there was never an ogre added in the Wild West. Dun's hat is probably the most popular admin hat. Now, if you're wondering what it means, well... Hold on a second. A conical cap formerly used as a punishment for slow learners at school. Oh. The developers not only have special avatar items, weapons, but they do also have some different stuff, such as like we saw the Doomsday missiles, a force field, but also a huge fucking mule. Valerian sign items are items which have a Norwich tag which have Solarian's username written on them. This changes nothing about the item, but all it does is giving you bragging rights.
My pillow has an orange name on it. I'm so cool.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck.
The meme Olympics is, as you guessed it, Olympics. Wow. Which were made by Sykes Recall. Okay, anyways, but these ones are more special since the OG The Wild West YouTubers competing, and you won't believe who won the meme Olympics. Someone great, someone that everyone knows of, someone we all know that is the greatest of all time. It was just Raven. A very stupid scam method once appeared, which was people dressing up as some YouTubers. One infamous YouTuber had that problem, which was Frenzy, which even made a video explaining how to counter them. The Western Frontier was an extremely controversial game since it has extremely copied the Wild West, and many YouTubers from the Wild West community have taken notice of it and decided to test it out to see even if it's good. No one fucking enjoyed it. They did a boring ass response to Sizzo, but for some reason the game is nowhere to be seen today. I'd assume that Star Wars Studios sent a copyright strike to remove this game from Roblox. Since the Wild West and Red Dead Redemption have a lot of similarities, some people went out and believed that the Wild West copied Rockstar games, which I was that same type of person before, but I realized that the Wild West released first before Red Dead Redemption, giving their areas a pass, but I'm slightly suspicious on the legendary animals since they came out later. I can already bet that the only steamboat we're familiar with is this one. But there is actually one which is barely known, sort of hidden by the developers, even though it's in the wiki, called the Seriema. It's pretty much the same model except with less detail and decor. It was first shown to the public in early July 2019, but was never added in the game and replaced by the La Grande. If we break up the top of original locations, Bronze City was the most changed since the Wild West came out. A lot of parts have changed, mainly the Bronze City Hotel, which was replaced by the gun store, the clothing store, and the blacksmith. There was also an old post office which didn't get added in the first version of Bronze City, and there was some other smaller stuff which aren't that important. Pedro Gilbert is probably one of the most unknown characters in the Wild West. He never has gotten some sort of photo showing how he looks like, but the only thing which we know about him is that he's the one which managed to provide us with the Admiral Axgon from a sunken Swedish Navy vessel. Docs.starwars.games is a pretty unknown website made officially by Star Wars Studios, which contains all the guidelines for the Wild West. And for some reason, recently the website got deleted, but the guidelines are now written in Trello.com. We're not sponsored, by the way.
The post glitch is a glitch which shows quite an inappropriate salute. This glitch is obviously not meant to be added in the game and is hopefully going to be removed by the developers soon.
The developers are always watching you is a reference to when Z7 got banned thanks to specific documents. The problem with these documents is that the developers can at all times know what you're doing. That means know what your coordinates are, what are you buying, what are you selling, basically every single possible movement and action of yours. On January 5th, 2022, Frenzy went out with a bang when he reached 10,000 subscribers with a face reveal. Now, this video is no longer available to the public for some unknown reasons, but it's probably because Frenzy changed his mind of uploading his face to the whole internet. UB Sunshine Studios is another studio that did the same thing as the Western Frontier. They copied pretty much everything from the Wild West except with a fake YouTuber using Shadow Star Play's avatar to make people believe that this is a normal game and not a copy. The game was immediately caught up by the content creators and the project immediately got cancelled. If you think that Tires has done only one interview frenzy, you are wrong, since he did one with the YouTuber Where's My Shirt on July 7, 2020, just playing the game and answering some questions, and another one with Medium, which is probably his first one, which got uploaded September 21st, 2019, doing the same thing as Where's My Shirt, answering some simple questions. On July 30, 2024, the unthinkable happened. Our old game tester, Dragon Knight, was going to work for the Navy, and he decided to leave the community with a bang by showing to his friends the progression update. However, one of his friends decided to record the whole thing. Legit, he recorded longer than what I usually upload. And then that friend decided to show the whole community that recording, which got Dragon Knight banned, and well, the community got disappointed since they got spoiled. On March 3rd, 2023, a faction called Pizza Squad have uploaded a Google Doc referred to as The Truth About SBS, where in that document you can find some horrible topics such as pedophilia and some other disgusting acts. This was meant to make the whole community turn their back on Star Wars Studios until the whole entire document was debunked, showing that it was entirely fake, except that some of the files provided were not fake. Yeah, it's Zazel after editing for 6 days. I want to say thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate your time. Am I gonna make part 3? Absolutely not. But anyways, yeah, that's all. Bye.